How's it going? How was your Independence Day? Hi, Kane. Hi, Punky. Hi, Squishy. Hi, Ladybug. Hi, Maddie. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Brandy Cat. Janie Jane. Meow. How's everyone doing? So we're just going to wait a little bit for a couple more people to get in here. Hi, Aggie. Hi, BG. Hi, RC. Hi, Just Me. What everyone do for Independence Day? Awesome. How was the show, RC? Hi, Jeannie. I tell you what, Just Me, those fireworks are expensive. To have an hour's worth of fireworks, you better have $500. Aggie, are you feeling better? We went to Margaritaville and we sat outside on the river and we could see the fireworks from there. And the problem was, like, nobody showing up to work. So they were severely understaffed. severely understaffed. It was just nuts. All right, guys, so I'm going to get started. So last night there was a prayer circle for summer, which is a good thing, but no one showed up. No one, except for Candace, 2 of her sons. It looks like her mom. Donald wasn't there. The oldest son wasn't there. No neighbors, no friends, no community. I'm kind of assuming that people in the community are done with this and they're just calling bullshit, because the GoFundMe is $1,255. Well, if you look at other cases when people are supporting someone in the community having a hard time, it builds up very fast. It's a $5 here, a $10 here. So let me show you this video real quick, or just part of it.
I'm praying that she be home safe in the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord. God put this on my heart to bring the community together and pray as a team. I know people on Facebook been praying too, but I just don't feel that's enough.
In the 3 weeks since she disappeared, people from all over have prayed for 5-year-old Summer Wells to be brought home safe.
We all should come together, because it says in the Bible, in Matthew 18:20, Jesus said himself that where 2 or 3 gather in his name, there he is also.
Timmy Etherton organized Tuesday's prayer group in Kingsport.
You know what? And good for this guy, Timmy. You know, he's doing the right thing. He's really doing the right thing. But for some reason, no one's really supporting them. Do you guys see what I'm saying? I mean, you're right, Kat. Grandma's not singing. Grandma disappeared for a couple days too. So it's for the kids, living expenses. There's been a lot of things there. So when Kenneth Hennett, when he was murdered, you know, in his front yard, there was a huge outpouring. I mean, lots of money coming in. And let me say something right now. Don't part with your money. If it's something like you're really, you really think it's going to do some good, I get it. Do it. But some of these situations with these GoFundMes just get way out of control. Way out of control. $1,255, considering she's been missing for 2 weeks, kind of shows you where the community is at on that seesaw of, do they believe the family or not? One of Rose Meyer, she's organizing all this. She said for flyers, they need money. For gas money to see the officials, they need money. Well, the officials will come see them. They will come see them. Mark my words, the officials have gas money to go see them if they need to. For whatever reason, they'll do it. You're right, just me. Well, how that thing went viral, just me, I will never know. And whoever, parted with their money for this $1,255, it's good. You know what? It's good to do the right thing. It's good to do what, you feel in your heart. It just gets beyond ridiculous.
Those in attendance with him, Summer's mother, grandmother, 2 of her older brothers, and family friend David Dotson.
The family
they need that support. A lot of negativity has been said, and it affects the mother, the father, and the children. And we just want to focus on getting Summer back. And that's the main thing.
Summer's family did not want to speak on camera, but said they are thankful for all of the prayers and support.
We're speaking with Candace and Don. The boys, obviously, they just want Summer back, and they just want her safe return back. And they are just, just keep on praying.
After 21 days, a scaled back search, and no new information, faith is what's getting them through.
Our faith in Christ is strong, and we just won't give up hope until she's found.
I get it. They're not going to give up hope. But there's examples of other parents that didn't give up hope. There is J.C. Dugard, her mother. There is Elizabeth Smart's parents. Adam Walsh, Faye Swetlick. But none of these parents ever used the past tense. Not a one of them. Not a one of them. And even like Morgan Nick, she disappeared from Mena, Arkansas. Her mother has been advocating for her for years and years and years. And her story has not changed even one time. Not even one time. Yet we have all these stories from Candace, all these stories from Dawn, and nothing adds up. The TBI has even said, just like the name of the show today, this is not a usual case. They said usually in a couple of days, they have the gist of what's going on. But in this case, they don't. I kind of wonder if they're actually ever going to find Summer. I wonder if the family's actually going to tell them everything that happened that day. I don't know. So I don't know if you guys have been on Donald's Facebook, but I was just going to share a couple things with you. No, I'm going to read it to you. Hang on. Candace, you think it's someone they know? One second. Yeah, his Facebook is going nuts. Donald says, how would you address the kidnappers of your precious 5-year-old daughter after you have pleaded with them for weeks? Does anyone believe that Donald is the main character in the movie Ransom right now, pleading with kidnappers? It's getting beyond ridiculous. He puts this stuff out publicly. The TBI sees it. The FBI sees it. The sheriff sees it. Do you really believe that he is talking to kidnappers? Last week we had Mexico. Yeah, Aggie, you're right. So right here, Dawn is saying to the abductors, you have 2 days to turn Summer loose, or many will be joining me in prayer for your destruction. Well, now what the fuck is he talking about? But I know Satan is whispering in your ear. Don't listen to him. Listen to the living God instead. Do what is right. There are many religions that can justify anything, but I promise they're run by Satan himself. Don't be fooled. Millions of good Christians are praying for Summer and other innocent children, and I'm sure God is listening. Please do the right thing before it's too late, please. God, please help us in our cause as we turn to you, Lord, King of Kings. We love you, God. Well, that is manic as fuck, all right? He's given them 2 days. I mean, who's getting 2 days exactly? Because according to Dawn, he's communicating with kidnappers. I was going to put a clip up today of Mel Gibson in the movie Ransom. It just didn't fit. I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. It becomes even more bizarre. Donald, so how would you address the kidnappers of your precious 5-year-old daughter after you have pleaded with them for weeks? So what's been going on for weeks, Donald, that you haven't shared with TBI? What's going on? Do you want your daughter back or not? Because it seems like you're interfering with an investigation. Now, Donald was at work when all this went down. When she disappeared, he was at work. So, what is this nonsense? Yeah, you're right, Brandy. Oh yeah, he's making friends every day. This dude was never on Facebook, had no time for it, but now he's all over it. And he's accepting strangers as friends. It is the weirdest thing I've just about ever seen. Well, not ever, but all right, right here. He says he honestly feels that Trump was trying his hardest to stop organized crime, and that's why he was taken out. Biden has undone all Trump has worked for and looks like he is paying them thugs money. Can't help but wonder, is this why my daughter's gone? If Trump was still in office, would have made a difference. Well, I can tell you right now, neither Biden nor Trump know who Summer is. Nor would they have helped you. You probably need to continue working with the authorities as best you can. And Maddie, you're right about the kidnappers. I was reading a long time the other night. And let me tell you, when a child goes missing, it is slim to none that it's an abductor, a kidnapper. It happens. It does happen. But in this case, in a lot of cases, it's always someone around them. It's mom, dad, stepmom, it's brothers, sisters, babysitters. It's just always something ridiculous. I mean, hi Tara. I mean, Megan Boswell kept saying that her daughter was kidnapped. She said it over and over. And she was arrested for lying to the police. Now, which was a bold move because with all the overcrowding we have, you have to admit that the jails would be even more overcrowded if people were in jail for lying to the police. But she swore her daughter was kidnapped. And a lot of people compare Evelyn Boswell to Summer, but I don't think that adds up at all. Because for one, Evelyn had been missing for quite a while before anyone made the call. Oh, I agree, Kane. Letitia Staunch, she said some guy, Eduardo, took Gannon. Again, that's a lie. But when you have true kidnapping cases, when you have Elizabeth Smart, Cash Gernon was actually taken out of his bed. Faye Swetlick, she was kidnapped out of her front yard. I mean, it does happen. But they live out so remotely. Somebody would have to have gone there they're not going for Summer. They would be going after the parents. You see what I'm saying? All right, so Candace, she's loving social media too. It looks like they got a few cars in the driveway, and she decided to post something for Summer for 4th of July. Purple, Summer favorite color. This is for you, baby girl. We love and miss you with all our hearts. Your brothers say happy 4th, sissy. We hope you can see this and come home safe with us. Nope, I don't think Summer sees it. Nope, not at all. Not at all. I don't think she is seeing what's going on there. You're right, Candace. JC Dugard. Don put something very telling on Facebook the other day. He kept talking about Jezebel. Yet Candace has a Jezebel tattoo on her. So it's like he's got these idiosyncrasies where he's calling out his wife all the time. Maddie, I find it inconceivable that someone gone on that property without... I find it inconceivable that someone got on that property without all those dogs barking and someone not seeing just the way their property... I just don't see why anybody would. Why would they? I mean, I've seen all kinds of comments and what people are saying, oh, they were owed drug money or this happened at the swimming hole. But something is too weird here. Talking in code is exactly right, Candace. Because Candace, not you, Candace, but Candace Wells has a Jezebel tattoo. So he's talking about Jezebel. It's beyond strange. That's another one, Brandy. If the basement door stays locked, she's 5 years old, she's under 40 pounds, how is she going to unlock that? Please, someone tell me. And I don't know about you guys, but it just kind of seems like to me the parents have already accepted the worst, especially mom. She just kind of seems like she's accepted whatever's happened. Does anyone else see that? Oh, Elena, thank you. Yeah, this Jose guy supposedly was the one that was with Candace when Donald came home and found them together. I did, RC. I did. I haven't heard the interview yet, though. But I don't really know that this Jose guy would really go and do something to Summer because he's all jaded from their argument in October. It's such a weird deal. Hey, Kat, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What are you making of all this nonsense?
Excuse me. I don't know. I feel like Grandma has something to really hide here. It's very strange that she was gone for a couple days right after she went missing. Went to Wisconsin or somewhere. I know now Candace says no, Grandma never left and went anywhere. But we have been told repeatedly by people that knew she was in Wisconsin that Grandma was gone for 2 days. How do you leave when your grandchild is missing? Unless you're taking the body somewhere. Why hasn't Grandma spoke out?
Oh, good point.
You know,
yeah, RC, he did. He said she doesn't do drugs. She doesn't do drugs or drink, he said. Well, I don't know, because I mean, when I saw her interview, it was like she had a mouthful of rocks. But no, good point, Kat, because why would a grandmother just take off like that?
you know, it was said that every time Grandma would get upset about missing the daughter Rose, that Candace would get drunk and, just go off at her and say, hey, get over it. She's gone, blah, blah, blah. So did Grandma just get so fed up with it that she wanted to make Candace feel the hurt she felt over losing Rose?
Well, I mean, it could be, but I mean, Grandma, I mean, what she was saying about Rose made no sense either. She was like, oh no, she was horseback riding and fell and hit her head. No, come on.
This whole family, I don't think they know how to tell the truth. It is inconceivable, all the inconsistencies here. This is off the rails. Now, on the vigil yesterday, the newspaper reported that a family friend was there. That was Grandma. It wasn't a family friend. That was Grandma at the vigil, not a family friend. I don't know why they would word it that way. And another thing on the Grandma that I have wrote down here is the GoFundMe that this Rose lady has made. Rose actually Dawn's sister. It says she was planting flowers with Grandma. No mention of Candace, period. None whatsoever. The GoFundMe clearly states by Rose that Summer was planting flowers with Grandma. What do we make of that? Was Candace even there?
Well, Candace said the same story, but that was her third story. Her first story said that Summer walked out the back door barefoot, explained her clothing. Then it was that Candace was taking a run. I will never understand that. Then we got the flower story. Her and her mom and Summer were planting flowers. And then that Summer wanted to go into the house and play. So she said she walked her to the porch, I don't see Candace doing that, but she said she did. Walked her to the porch and that her brothers were sitting there watching TV. She went to the basement to play, and 2 minutes later, she was gone. She said she was yelling for her. It was, not like Summer to not yell back, but she was gone.
Well, if you want to get into the Candace interview, I feel like all that Candace did in her interview was entertain or to justify her behavior to satisfy Facebook. The candy. Why would she mention the candy? Because Grandma's Facebook post that's been circulating. You get where I'm going with that?
Oh, absolutely. Why did Candace make a point to talk about when she got to Warrior Park that there was trash everywhere?
Right.
It's because people found a black trash bag full of empty beer cans and shit. That her and that kid were sitting there drinking.
The 2 minutes, you have to realize during this 2 minutes time, okay, I do not believe for 1 second that Candace walked this child 20 foot away.
Oh, hell no.
When it's been said by Dawn that Summer's always outside and he has to go tell the boys, go get your sister. Don't leave her outside alone.
Yeah.
You're not the loving, oh my God, I got to watch over my child every little second. Nobody watches their child 24/7. My child right this minute is next door at the neighbor's house. I know he's at the neighbor's house playing with the kid. And he's 10 foot away from me.
Yeah, really odd for her to say, and I walked her to the porch. Who the hell walks their kid to the porch?
Okay, but with that said, Grandma and Candace are still out in the yard. And if you notice the back door that she supposedly went out of, the basement door, I don't know why they're insistent that's how she went out. But she went out that back door. Candace and Grandma were in the yard. That back door is visible from where they were planting flowers. So how does Candace and Grandma not see her?
And why would you walk your child to the porch when you can see her?
And why for 2 minutes?
To your own home to play, but she had to put that in there.
Yes, because everybody's accused her of not watching her kids. She feels it's just all that was for Facebook, to tell Facebook, I'm not the piece of crap. She states that Summer's dad and my husband. Did you kind of get that? It was like she was referring to two different people, that he always provided for them.
Well, and I did get that, and I couldn't understand why she even made that inference.
Because everything she said in that interview was to appease, to make herself look better. That's all it was about. It was not about fact in any way whatsoever. And why, even I keep going back to this 2 minutes. You send your child in the house. Okay, why, if you're only going to be gone 2 minutes? That absolutely makes no sense. You tell your child to wait. We're fixing to go in. We're almost done. If you're that much of a control freak and need to watch your child 24/7, you make your child wait. This 2 minutes is just baloney.
Well, I say 2 minutes about everything. Oh, that took 2 minutes, or that took. But I mean, what she's doing is she's changing the details. And like I said last week, anytime our kids get out of sight from us, okay, we know what they were wearing, where we were, what time it was. It's ingrained in our minds.
Absolutely.
But she's had 5 different stories. And from what my timeline shows, not that I'm an investigator, there's 4 hours that are missing. From the swimming hole to the planting flowers. Okay. She never explained what happened when they got home from the swimming hole, from getting the prescription at Walgreens, and she said it was going to take 20 minutes, so she took Summer swimming over there at Warrior Park.
Okay, we were told, or it's been rumored, that there were beer cans everywhere in the yard. They were cleaned up before law enforcement arrived. If your child is missing, you're going to clean up the 1,000 beer cans in your yard before they get there? Or are you going to be looking for your child?
Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? I would be going nuts.
Oh, yeah. You'd have caught me a mile down the road walking, looking for my child.
Yeah.
But we can't build a timeline because here's why. If Dawn was an hour away working, we still do not know what time the first law enforcement arrived. That would be the only solid timeline. What time did the first officer get on scene? I can't find it anyway. They were dispatched at 6:30 was when the 911 call come in.
That's what I'm trying to find too. Supposedly she called Dawn first.
Right? But she'd only been missing 10 minutes when they called 911. So she goes missing at 6:20, let's say. Okay, say you look for 5 minutes, then you call Dawn at work. Right? You have a conversation with them. Who calls after their child's missing 5 or 6 minutes?
I found that odd too. Okay. Now I will say with Face Sweatlick, I never can say the last name right. Her mother did call like within 20 minutes because she was in a panic. And that family's a hot mess too, but her mother did do everything she could right. And she was killed by a neighbor.
You know, but when you live in a rural area, I could see right now where I live in a neighborhood. The houses are really close together. I mean, our houses are like 10 foot apart. I get in this scenario because I have a lot of neighbors' house. A neighbor could have kidnapped him. Absolutely. But still, 10 minutes missing in the middle of nowhere, you're not thinking someone took your kid. You're thinking your child wandered off.
Especially in the basement while the 3 brothers are upstairs watching TV. These are her words.
Now, is the basement, is that a bedroom or playroom?
They've said a playroom and that she went downstairs to play with her toys, but her brothers were upstairs, according to Candace, watching TV. So somebody either came in the front door, bypassed the brothers, or they got through somewhere and went down there while she was playing.
And took her out of the house right by mom and grandma.
Well, I mean, they were in the backyard, they were eating candy and planting flowers.
Yeah. That was the candy that come from the pharmacy, I bet.
Well, I mean, if you look at abductions, they're nothing like this. Nothing like this.
No.
Lucy Dugard, she was kidnapped as she was walking to the school bus. And it was daylight. Elizabeth Smart was during the night. It's usually like when the parents are way away. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And so this makes no sense. Why would anyone come to their property and take Summer?
I feel like maybe another scenario, it's a sympathizer. Remember the lady from the church? What about the babysitter that come out? Candace wanted the babysitter, to keep Summer that day. Now, mind you, these are very poor people to hear them tell it. I mean, I don't believe Candace owns more than one shirt at this point. But yet Candace says they never go without, and they're a very happy family. The babysitter that day, Candace called the babysitter to ask her to watch Summer. Why would you need a babysitter to go drop your mom off at the ER and then go swimming with H? Why would you need a babysitter for that?
Yeah, I want to know too.
That doesn't make any sense.
None of this makes sense. If things don't make sense, they're not true.
We keep hearing several people saying she was a tomboy. But then she was a princess. She wanted to be a princess. She liked the girls with their hairs done, the professional looking people with nice clothes on. But then it goes back to, no, she was a tomboy. She wanted to play with the kids' toys, the Hot Wheels. It just doesn't jive.
None of it makes sense. You know what? And girls can be a tomboy and love princess. They can do all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Kids have big imaginations, but adults don't get to fucking have them.
No,
So when your kid is missing,
they're
you
called
don't have
delusional.
all these different stories.
They can't get on the same page for anything. Dawn didn't even, in the last interview Dawn did with I can't remember who it was, but anyway, he didn't even know how old his own kids were. He had to ask the boys their age in the live. He didn't know how old the boys were. Don acts like he doesn't know the story. All he knows is what Candace told him, which obviously that's all he'd know. But it's not like he's pushed, to ask Candace, okay, Candace, this doesn't make sense. He, like in the one he said about the dream about the fish, the kissy fish or whatever, you'll have to ask Candace more. Or I don't know in the interview. Or why aren't you asking your wife what the hell happened? You should know every detail. By now, you both should have talked about what happened 1,000 times that day. I would. Why are these people not out here handing out flyers? Where they're not begging and pleading for the return of their child? Okay, if they don't have a printer, the GoFundMe is supposed to be for flyers. Your child's missing, you can go to any printing business, and I guarantee you they're not going to turn you away and not print you flyers.
Honey, you and I have gotten flyers made for people.
All you have to do is she can go to Walmart and get a $40 printer. That would just mean you don't have cigarettes and beer that night. Whoopie-doo.
Exactly.
They have done nothing to help search for their child. It's like they don't want her found. Okay, I'm on. There's no rhyme or reason to that whatsoever. The cops couldn't have stopped me from being out there looking for my child. It's happened in many other cases. Do you also notice in this case, you know how we usually have so many volunteers come through to help search? I mean, the police department actually asked for the public's help in search parties and things like that. I get there's rough terrain. My God, this isn't the first child to go missing in tough terrain. It's not. Volunteers still searched in those cases.
Can you send your paper?
Yeah. Sorry, my little one was in here.
Honestly, I mean, I think, Sheriff Ronnie Lawson's going to figure it out if he hasn't already. Because the TBI said that usually within a couple of days, they know how it's going.
Exactly.
They know who did it. Well, let's look at this real quick, okay?
Go for it. Noah's in here. Hold on. You got it, babe?
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Okay, he's gone.
To all of you, to all who are trying to help through psychic, thank you. I know you want to help, but what does the Bible say? Leviticus 19:31. Well, he should take all the help he can get.
I'd be doing anything. Why does this man not use Summer's name anywhere? If they have such a strong faith in God, they should have a strong faith that they can find her. Most God-fearing people that have as much faith as he portrays would have faith that Summer is going to come home. They would have that faith. I don't know, maybe this is some satanic ritual that they sacrifice their daughter. I don't know. This is the craziest thing. There's so many scenarios. A sympathizer, the grandma did it. Maybe it has something to do with the church. None of this, when we first talked about this case, I said, I don't want to do it. I said, there's no clear. It's just insane. This was what, 2 days in? And I said, there's no information out there. We don't even have a real story from the parents.
Or when he says he's not going to plead with criminals. He's not going to plead with criminals. He's not going to plead with kidnappers. I'm telling you, he watched the movie Ransom with Mel Gibson over the goddamn weekend, and that's what he's doing right now. He's acting like he's talking to kidnappers. He even said he's been talking to them for 2 weeks. Well, why are you on Facebook talking about that? Why don't you give that phone number, who you're talking to the FBI, TBI, the sheriff? I guarantee they'll help you.
How do you fall asleep in a polygraph test?
I don't know.
I don't care how many days you've been up. How do you fall asleep with a polygraph test? Even a person who has nothing to hide, their adrenaline will be pumping because, I mean, they're taking a polygraph test. We all know polygraph tests are not reliable.
And you can't use them in court. You can't use them in court, period.
Exactly.
I hate when people even bring them up. It's used to clear people.
Exactly. But how do you fall asleep during one? So he fell asleep during the first one. Then Candace was too upset to do hers. So they both had to take 2 tests. That's unheard of. The conflicting stories about her hair. What about his post? Pets go to heaven. Will the pets go to heaven?
Yeah, what the hell is
What the
that?
hell? What does it matter? Does he say if something happens to my child, is she going to go to heaven?
What I want to know is, I mean, if you're so concerned about your pets going to heaven, let me ask you this. Why weren't the dogs barking when your daughter was abducted, as you keep saying she was? He's talking about human trafficking, the book of Exodus, Mexico, President Trump, anything he can talk about. So
Except his child.
Do what?
He's talked about everything but Summer.
Yeah.
You know, if you're talking to her kidnappers, have you told them what her favorite food is? I mean, I just don't. This is the biggest shit show I've ever seen.
Oh, it's one of them. Did anyone, I'm not going to post it. Did anyone see the picture of Candace in the park swinging?
No. What about Candace at the aquarium? Did anybody know the purple jelly shoes she had on? Did y'all notice those? How they're about 4 sizes too big for her?
Now what?
Yeah, you didn't see them?
No.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'll send it over to you. Yeah, she's in front of an aquarium. She's got some purple jelly shoes on. You know. And they're like way too big for her. Way. I mean, her toes are barely in the part that covers your toes. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right here. Let me send it to you. Notice her shoes in this one. Notice her poor little feet. And this is at an aquarium, obviously, a public place. She's got the stickers all over her face. Did you see the picture of Candace asleep in church?
No, not yet. It hasn't come through yet.
Okay, I sent it to your messenger.
Okay. Oh, I just got it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, those are some new ones that I hadn't seen before today that I pulled this morning. Still gets me about the hair in the interview. How they both just sat there and contradicted each other.
What's wrong with that?
You're right to eat. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Sorry, bud.
Yeah, let me look at this real quick. Good God.
I rarely have seen a picture of Summer smiling. And speaking of pictures of Summer, the Amber Alert. Why would you not give the most accurate current picture of your child to blast everywhere?
Have you ever seen an Amber Alert that doesn't mention a car or someone they could possibly be with?
Well, the
I
Amber
want
Alert,
to know why these pictures of Summer, many of them, she's holding her crotch.
absolutely. The Amber Alert, the one that went out, has the picture of Summer in the red dress with the long hair. Well, her hair was never long, but normal. It wasn't shaved, with shoulder length hair. Everybody for the first 2 or 3 days was looking for a child that looked like that picture. It wasn't until a couple of days in that we found out her head was shaved and she didn't have any hair. And she was dressed Miss Prim and Proper, and I guess it was a Christmas dress or something. This wasn't the normal way Summer looked. This was not her on an everyday, and it had her as 4 years old. So those first 48 hours, big if here, if she was abducted, highly unlikely in my opinion, but if she was, you were looking for a girl with shoulder length hair that was very clean and that was 4 years old. You weren't looking for a 5-year-old with a shaved head that could have easily looked like a little boy. Why would you give that information? I mean, they ask for a recent photo, anytime a child's missing, can I get a recent photo of them? Why would you give? Summer's never happy in any of the pictures.
No, she's not.
Yes, Jimmy, big if. I seriously doubt it. Tara, I do feel that if she is in the area still, I feel that maybe come the fall, hunters may find her located somewhere in the woods. And I just don't understand how the boys can still be allowed to be in that situation. Maybe the police are giving enough rope to hang himself, but I think they have enough rope to hang him.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering about that myself.
I mean, they still have no evidence other than their own words. It's all speculation.
All right, so here's a picture in church where she's got the red hoodie on and she's going to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't really even know why she's there.
Why are you just all kicked back like it's your couch at home?
I mean, I'm not saying that she had to put her Sunday best on, but come on. How disrespectful.
Sit in the back of the church or something, if you're...
And they're wondering why people aren't donating money?
Yeah, why? I've never seen someone not interested in their child like this. Even when you did something to your child, look at the cases that the parents were involved. They lied through their teeth, but at least they acted like they cared a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Chris Watts had the same story the whole way throughout.
Oh, still does. Still does. He's always got something going on.
Don's a felon. Remember when Candace called the cops on him this last time, October or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Why didn't the police charge him with a felon in possession?
Well, that would be good to know, honestly.
From what I've seen, I don't feel confident in the police there. Because they don't want people to search. And normally searches are side by side, you know, maybe a foot in between each other. I seen the people in one video that were searching, and they were just all over the place. They weren't close to each other. They weren't. It's not like a normal search I've ever seen.
Well, it's not at all, because here's the whole thing. She hasn't been found.
Well, I mean, like I said, it was a half-ass search anyway. There was one picture, and it was almost like they were walking in a straight line, you know, a couple of feet behind, like everybody's just talking and walking through the woods, you know. It wasn't a parallel line like we normally see in churches, in
Right.
most churches. It's the last time. Red car. Hold on. Let me catch up on chat.
Okay.
Maddie, we don't have a clue if they took Candace's car, searched it, or done any test. Now, I do believe Candace was
And
Summer
how is this
was
normal?
alive.
I've got picture after picture after picture of Summer holding herself in that area. And it's disturbing. I can't stand it. I mean, at 4 or 5 years old, I mean, I would place my hands on my lap, but she's grabbing herself. And there's these different rumors, okay, about yeast infections, all kinds of stuff. And that's sick.
I look at it, maybe she is holding herself that way, or maybe that's more, you know how when we're scared we get in a fetal position, or we want our limbs to be close to us? Maybe it's out of fear, or I don't know. But it's strange. It's really strange. Yes, mothers who are jealous of their daughters. I agree 100%. And I just wonder with his Jezebel statement.
And she's got a Jezebel tattoo, Kat.
Yeah. Yes, Whitney, exactly. You seen what I seen, is that correct? I've never seen a search like that done before. It was just, it was crazy.
Francine says, that's just how she holds her hands. I don't know. I mean, I don't, she's clenching herself. I mean, I get what you're saying, Francine, but I just don't think so. It just seems like it's very odd to me for a little girl to protect herself that way. I think about the Stolen Innocence group, and when I see the pictures of the girl that was abused, and she went from her hands to her side to suddenly she's taking pictures with her fist doubled up right in front of her crotch. And it was disturbing, and it still is.
You know, I see this in the pictures with her with family and stuff like this, like in the aquarium with the jelly shoes. But now when we've seen her with the lady at the church, Summer was actually really happy in that picture. And she felt comfort there. Her arms weren't so clenched to her. But I mean, realistically, they were up on stage singing. Who lets their daughter run up on stage and just do whatever she wanted to do? That's not how we act in church. We teach our kids from a very young age how to act in public. You just don't let those things happen unless mom and dad's sleeping in church and not paying attention to her. Oh yeah, he abused a lot of kids. Yes. Yeah, my Starry Night, my dog went missing the other night, which is unheard of for him. And I didn't take to Facebook. The first thing I did, I jumped in the car, rode around the block, rode a mile this way and that way, and we're yelling out the window for him. Called the police department to see if one had been turned in. Within 30 minutes, I posted to Facebook, and we had our dog back in a few minutes. He was 7 houses away because he heard kids playing. And yeah, but I was freaky, panicked, going crazy in that 30 minutes time. The party life, yeah. I've seen a bunch of Candace's videos.
Agreed, Sarah.
And I feel like that Candace wants to be the party girl. She thinks every man wants her.
I'm going to read this real quick. Brandy just sent this to me.
Okay.
So the same guy that was at the prayer circle last night posted this. We always called her Candy when she was a stripper. See the tattoo on her arm from the prayer vigil today in Kingsport that Donnie didn't attend. It says Taz is in the devil, as in Jezebel. Donnie was a narc in prison. That's why he got out early. He always had a thing for trashy dope. Okay. Hell, he knows how to hang drywall and talk a lot of shit. I think he learned a lot from me because we did time together. He's a piece of work. Old Bonnie and Clyde got a fix now. He always talked about outsmarting the law. His old lady finally got him in a hole he can't get out of. What do you think?
That's Mr. Dick there.
Yep.
I seen that also. You know what?
I mean, you can't really trust criminals, especially ones that say that they suddenly love Jesus.
Yeah, and this one too. I mean, granted, people have made mistakes in their life, and some people change their life around.
Right.
But when you go posting under the name Dick Dollar,
Yeah.
and you say things like that, you know, you probably haven't changed your life that much.
No, exactly. And sometimes you don't put it on social media. No. I'm so sick of that shit. Your child is missing. Your child is missing. This is not a time to post about, we've got purple smoke bombs in the driveway for you.
Yeah, we're not going to go out and plead to the public, bring Summer home, bring my child home, bring her home now. We're not going to hang flyers. We're not going to do anything, but we're going to light some purple little 50-cent smoke bombs in our driveway that no one can see from the road.
Yeah. And if you see this, come home. Get out of here. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Look, I guarantee you, if the FBI is still involved,
of course they
probably moved on and going to let local police handle it, because at this point they think it's bullshit and they think the parents had something to do with it, and FBI doesn't need to be involved for that. But I guarantee you, somebody is watching everyone that posts, or at least going through people that are posting on Dawn's Facebook. You know, Dick Dollar, they would probably pull the name and say, what have we got on this guy? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. He's
Whitney needs to look at this cat. Brandy, Brandy, can you see this? I'm curious about the Jose guy, Chris Marcos, and even his mom, Allison. And they stayed there for a while. Were there any other random house guests living there at any point in Summer's life we don't know about? We don't know.
How would we? If they're not telling us, how would we know? They're not telling us much. Now, Allison said it wasn't a party house. But how? Okay. If my friend's ex comes to visit me, okay, say Brandy's at my house, or me and Brandy are friends, and her ex comes into town with 14 people. Am I just going to tell Brandy's ex, yeah, you and your 14 people in your clan can come to my house? Why would you? Who would allow 14 people? I mean, obviously the house ain't even, I don't know how it could accommodate. I don't know how it accommodates them anyway. But how could you accommodate 14 people? But then Allison said it wasn't a party house. I think the whole clan, I promise you, if something happened to my child, you guys would not find all this dirt on me. There wouldn't be all this. But every road we turn down with this family is nothing but drunks, druggies, people that don't take care of their kids, people who don't pay child support. how did 14 people drive in one vehicle down from New York?
Exactly. From Gloversville, New York.
And you just come down, you quit your job and you come down here to stay, and you don't have a vehicle, you ain't got no money, and because, like Allison said, they went back. I assume she met Andrew and went back, and his wife, girlfriend, whatever. What about the 14 people that were just dumped there? I mean, I don't, why would 14 people need to come for you to come see your child? I go see my grandson, and I don't need to bring anybody with me but me and my son. Why would I need to take 14 people to go visit family? Makes no sense. Oh yeah, I'm sure a lot of people were there over the years. But there's rumors now that Jose's been murdered by Don. How did Don beat the police there?
That's actually
makes
very
no sense.
common in a rural community because, I mean, like when you have a 911 address, you know how to get home. But sometimes it takes them a
Right.
while to find you.
But they
So
called in
that concerned me too
fire and
much.
rescue, which was right down the road within a few miles from there. Don had to come. Like I said, that just doesn't jive and it doesn't add up. He had to get his tools together and then drive home.
Well, I'm just going to hope that he didn't pick anything up and just ran right out there.
Well, he said that he had to try to get his tools up. He got his tools up and then headed home. But there was a scramble from the beginning with the dispatch, with the logs from dispatch. Normally, I would assume, I've never had a child go missing, luckily. I would assume a call comes in for a missing child. It's in a rural area. The first thing they would do was send 1 or 2 officers out to make contact to get the story. I mean, they go, I mean, from the get-go, they were calling search, rescue, every agency around them. And they had not even made it out to the house. Even the officer says, Mom went for a walk? And dispatch, yeah, that's what Dad said. But before they even made contact with the family and an officer got there, they were asking for 6-wheelers and ATVs and all this kind of stuff. Why would they do that? Yeah, in big cities like San Antonio, yes, it would take a while. But when you're in rural nowhere and you get 10 calls a day, probably, you're probably sitting and ready to go.
No, they're slow as hell. They're slow as hell. Let me tell you.
Okay, somebody just said, there's Whitney, there's no way he should have. There's no way he should have. With her, he was driving from, and I'm local. He was like 40 minutes away. Okay. Usually an officer comes out and assesses the situation. You don't wait for everybody to gang up and get together before we go to that location. You don't wait until search and rescue is ready before you make contact with the family. Whichever officer can get there the fastest generally arrives first.
Let's talk about the probability of her being abducted. With Mom there, Grandma there, 3 brothers, they've all said that they were all there. And she said that it was 2 minutes, which that could just be a slang. I say that all the time. It took 2 minutes, whatever. But let's talk about that. What is the probability that she was really abducted?
Stranger abductions are like 1%.
Yep. And how many can you name as much as you know about true crime?
Hold on, I was reading. Repeat that, please.
How many can you name as much as you know about true crime, as long as you and I have worked together? How many can you name that are actually stranger abductions? We can actually play a game every Friday and give out prizes.
None. Not that I can think about. Cash wasn't a stranger. I mean,
No, yep. Darian got him. He knew him.
the little
And
boy.
that's true. I mean, all I can think of is Elizabeth Smart, Faye Sweatlick, but actually she knew the neighbor.
Right.
Um,
Smart knew the guy because he worked on the home with the dad.
right, but I mean, she didn't know him.
No, she had seen
He
him
was
in
truly
passing.
abducted.
Yeah.
What crime time? Ask again. Is my microphone cutting out? JC Dugard did not know him. She was actually nabbed as she was walking the school bus. So it's extremely rare. Jamie Kloss, true. Yep. Yep. You're exactly right. Crime time.
Yes.
And that's a mess up case. That guy killed her parents and took her.
Yes, Candace, she was trying to put her hair on her head on that stage. I kept noticing that, yeah.
I mean, Breasia Terrell was killed by her stepfather. So how often are kids really abducted? What he's trying to spin makes no sense, especially in such an isolated area. Haley Owens, Francine said.
You know, that Dotson
Kyle
guy.
Hornbeck, but are you talking about Kyle Hornbeck, just me? Because I think his stepmother did it.
Haley Owens in Missouri. No, her stepfather was connected to that. Or he had been molesting her. I know he got caught for something and went to prison. Crime time, I mean, Candace and Grandma were in the backyard.
So you've got adults and you've got 3 brothers around there. Somebody, I think, would have noticed her being carried out. I mean, unless somebody went down there, and I'm going to forget about the 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's blow the 2 minutes out of the water. That's most likely the biggest lie I've ever heard. Let's blow the 2 minutes out.
It's slang. It's slang.
And the back door, let's throw that out of the water too, because they could have went out the front. They're spinning it that it had to be the back door. For some reason, they're spinning the back door. But the way that house is laid out in Grandma's trailer.
No, you're right. Sorry,
back-
Sean Hornback. That's true. So it does happen. Kids do get abducted. Sean Hornback was. And he was held captive for years and years and years. And another kid was abducted too, and they lived together. It's disgusting. You know, it's a disgusting case. All of them are. Yeah, that guy is still in jail. It's sick. So it does happen. But what do we hear more about? We hear more about parents, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the stepfather, the stepmother. We hear more about the babysitter, someone who is close to the family.
Right. Absolutely.
So I'm not saying it doesn't happen. So when Dawn is talking about abductors, Mexico, Exodus, President Trump, I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah. I'm looking right now to see if I can find a picture of the layout of the property where you would have to go. I mean, Candace and Grandma, if they were in the backyard, would have had to see them if they come out the basement door. Okay. I'm not going to sit and scroll and look like that. I'm going to draw a stick figure drawing. Okay. This
Okay,
is
that'll work.
house.
What is this? Chucky LOL. What did Chucky say? I like funny stuff, so bring it to me. And what is the probability after as long as she's been gone that she's alive? I'm not trying to be grim, but how is it?
Unless it was a sympathizer that just couldn't stand it anymore. We've heard so many people say they've called CPS so many times.
I never thought about that because even though the Glairer came on here and said that I was making things up, we have people that have contacted us and said they contacted CPS about everything from maltreatment to slapping the kids in the head, to
Calling
shooting the dogs. Yep. Shooting the dogs with BB guns. All of these different things.
You know, tracking to the driveway could have been when Candace went to the fishing hole that day, or swimming hole, whatever they want to call it, to Grandma. That may have been the last scent leaving the property. And with my drawing, from like the corner to the house to Grandma's trailer on there is like 20 foot. Hold on. I'm going to send another one. Don't post. Don't. Hold on. Besides, the glare got that one pretty good.
But why did Grandma leave? And several people have said she left. Why would she?
To get rid of Summer's body? I mean, I hope and pray that that is what something happened. I do hope that a sympathizer, you know, granted, they probably have to hide her out, but that little girl was never happy. It's still not right to take someone's child and to kidnap a child or to do whatever. But I don't know. I've just never seen such a more miserable child when you look at all the pictures. Oh, CPS, yeah. We ain't even going into that one. Don't get me started about CPS.
CPS, and don't get me going about CPS because they're a terrible organization. They're awful.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
awful. But you shouldn't need them. When the government comes in your house, you've lost all control.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't need them. Why would you need them? Why would anyone call CPS on you? And if they do, to be vindictive, to be an asshole, you should easily explain, this is the reason my child was dirty playing in the mud. This is the reason my child hasn't been to school. You should never need CPS.
Exactly.
You should never need them. So every time someone says CPS, 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 be a goddamn parent. Because I have talked to several people that called CPS on this family and nothing was done. So in that regard, I'm going to agree. Okay, I'm going to agree with Gabriel Fernandez. I'm going to agree with Olivia Jansen. I'm going to agree with several cases when CPS came in and they went through their paperwork. AJ Freund, I'm going to agree. Keaton Boggs, I'm going to agree. What I won't agree with is the fact that CPS should ever come to your house.
How do you have kids with somebody that is or marry a man or live with a man that's abused other kids? Candace has to know Dawn's past.
Well, of course she does. And look at Candace and Dawn. They're not spring chickens, Kat. Look at them.
She's already lost 2 of her kids.
They have adult children that they both lost.
Yes, yes,
It's rumored that Don tried to sell one of his children.
absolutely.
This is not breeding material. This is not who you want to have more kids with. I know my name is Steven. I have seen that actually. Oh, I'm looking at your picture right now.
I think they got home. Okay, Sandra, across the street, they'll look across from house.
Now, there was a woman at the church that posted in another group, whether it's true or not, I don't know. She said that there was a huge complaint from both Dawn and Candace that Summer had behavior problems. She peed the bed. She had all kinds of things going on. And that could be part of it. I don't know. Obviously, it's not an excuse to kill your child. I'm not saying they did, but a child is missing. So either a stranger walked past 3 grown boys and went to the basement and grabbed her, or somehow got through the window. I don't know. Is there a window there? I don't know.
Peeing the bed is a behavioral problem, or it could be a kidney problem, or it could be a urinary tract infection.
Peeing the bed is not a behavior problem. It's usually caused from anxiety from a child. So these things being said, I mean, are absolutely insane.
Yeah, my next the oldest daughter, when she was like 4 or 5, when she was about Summer's age, before kindergarten, she would wet the bed at night, and but she had a problem with her kidneys. One of her kidneys is smaller. Anyway, it was nothing to do with any kind of trauma or anything like that. They put her on some medication, and eventually,
my stepson wet the bed till he was 13 years old. And we had to take him to a urologist.
Yes, we did with Christy too.
And he had to take some medication, and he couldn't drink anything before like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing it on purpose. I mean, he wasn't being abused, but kids wet the bed. They do.
Yep. Maybe that's why she's always holding herself, because maybe she did have a urinary tract infection. And this is caused by even swimming in a lot of causes of urinary tract infections. Swimming in lakes and creeks and rivers. There's a lot of bacteria in there.
Okay, good. I was thinking about that too, because when you're in a nasty ass creek or lake,
yeah,
you might kind of get some problems in certain areas. You know, girls are different than boys. Okay.
Yes. You're right, Angel. It is.
So whether that's true or not, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at my phone right now. I've got 6, 7.
You know, I wonder what
8 pictures of her holding herself down there. And it could be from, like I said, kidney infection. I mean, I had a kidney infection when I was 7 years old. You know,
my niece lost one of her kidneys when she was like 12 or 13.
When kids are growing up, I mean, our bladders are smaller, and like you're sitting in school, but she wasn't in school, so you have to hold it. You know, you got to hold it.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Now, did you notice Candace said in her interview that she took Summer to the doctor and got all her shots for school? I just kind of found that odd, because I mean, you have a schedule to get your kids shots. My son, he had all his shots before school. I mean, I didn't have to take him to get shots so he could start school. You get where I'm going?
Yep.
Were these kids taken to the doctor like they needed to be taken?
That I don't know. And that makes sense too, Danielle. I mean, give someone some Mr. Bubble or anything like that.
Yes,
A little girl, you're going to have some problems.
Bubble bath, yes, absolutely.
So that could be why she was holding herself all the time. But for some reason, in several pictures, she definitely was holding herself.
I just can't get over those shoes. That poor little girl had to be walking. I mean, and that's just one picture. How could she walk in those things? How do you take your kids anywhere? And first of all, your kids want to be clean. They don't want people making fun of them.
Thank you. New to
Of
Taylor
course
tonight
not.
in the search for 5-year.
Of course not. Let's look at this really quick, okay? Hang on.
Okay.
Summer Wells. Incident Commander Tim Coop says the command center at Mount Carmel Baptist Church has been demobilized and that multiple local search crews and outside resources are on standby now.
Tonight marks 2 weeks since Summer's parents say she was last seen at their home in Hawkins County. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says they have received 650 tips in the search for 5-year-old Summer.
Now, what do you guys make of them demobilizing and they're scaling back the search? They're not searching anymore
Because they know there's nothing to be found.
Yeah.
Olivia, I would just about bet this family was on Medicaid. And obviously wetting the bed or a urinary tract infection would be a problem. So we couldn't go to well child checkups because of cost, but now we have Obamacare. We have things that are covered. You get an annual exam every year and it's free, or you can go to community health and there's 101 ways for you to get health care now that is free. You got to figure there's 4 kids in that home. There's 6 people in that home. Poverty guidelines for there for 6 people would probably be about 80, 90,000 a year, I would assume. 70. Just say 60. I don't think Dawn made 60,000 a year. Yes, absolutely, Candace. I feel with her starting school, I feel like the timing. CPS had just been called. They come out the day before she went missing. Mom wouldn't let him in the house. School's coming back. She has to, take care of Summer now. 650 tips. I think the 650 tips is all people on social media saying, oh my God, she looks dead in the backseat of the car. I do not feel she was dead in the backseat of the car. I think that's far-fetched. And I get reaching, but some things that are being reached at are just a little too much out there. Like the heat thermal thing yesterday that somebody posted. You can't take a thermal image of a picture that's already been taken.
Yeah, Fufu, you're right. She does have a nice car. And RC, Grandma's camper is a stone's throw from the porch. I mean, it's maybe 20 paces.
Well,
hang on. Watch this real quick, okay?
Yeah, go. Yeah.
TBI tweeted this afternoon urging the public to only share information from credible sources, adding, quote, sharing speculation or rumors only makes the process more difficult for law enforcement by increasing the number of non-credible tips, end quote. The
News Channel 11's Bianca Murray joins us live. Bianca, we got to speak with both of Summer's parents. What did they say about the toll her disappearance is having on their family?
Well, Josh and Sarah, we spoke with the Summers parents yesterday, and they said that she is an absolute force of nature in their home. But now that she's missing, they say it's like every member of their family has lost a little bit of their heart.
Her brothers are so devastated that they wake up every morning crying for their sister.
She has to. She almost stumbles getting the word cry out. Do you notice that she can barely get the word cry out because it's a flat out lie? I think they're all happy that Summer's gone.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany Marie.
And by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed to Tiffany's channel, do it, because the way she's covering this case will blow your mind.
Red asked, how are they paying car payments and insurance? Don works. From what I understand, this house and land was gifted to him when his mother passed away. I don't think they owe a mortgage on it, because I don't see where a finance company would have financed that in the shape it's in. Who knows? But Dad has a job. And as far as all the mini vacations, most of what I see are to lakes and parks and things that are free. I
Yeah,
did go to the aquarium,
museum, to the restaurant, and to Gatlinburg and things like that. I mean, they're not going on a cruise.
No. And I mean, I'm sure they get food assistance. I don't get any assistance, and I own a house and 2 brand new vehicles, and it's just me. So, I mean, I could see how they could make their car payments and insurance. Believe me, my 2 car payments and insurance are like 3 times what my house payment is.
All right, so listen to this. Just listen.
And as a mother, it really hurts to see your other children crying.
Summer's parents say her brothers are having a hard time coping with their sister disappearing. 12-year-old Josie, 11-year-old Wyatt, and 9-year-old Waylon.
And he misses his sister so much because he played with her all the time.
Summer's mom, Candace, says she's been receiving hateful messages on social media, most of which she says calls her a bad mom.
And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and nobody would ever treat her like that as long as
I'm around.
Who would care? Who would care?
If we weren't seeing the condition this child's in, we wouldn't be calling you a bad parent. If you haven't changed your story 101 times, if any of this made sense, and if you pled for your child, if you were saying, find my child, that's what I still go back to. Why aren't you saying, find my child? Back up for that. Okay.
I'm just asking all the parents out here, would you care if someone called you a bad parent? Would you be answering? Would you be accepting friends on Facebook? Would you be answering messages?
What would you be worried about? Where would your priorities be? Mine would be on my child. I have one goal in this world. I have one responsibility. And that is to make sure that my child is safe and get him to where he's 18 and can be a productive member of society. That's my only goal in life. That's the only one responsibility I have at my age.
Right.
That's the only thing.
Hey, Tiffany, can you grab the link and come up?
Yay, come on up, Tiffany. Maybe she can share some from her live last night.
I know, because she does great work. And it's absolutely insane to me that they're crying about themselves. And I know that people are saying, well, I keep picking apart the family. I'm not picking apart the family. I'm picking apart the situation.
The story. Absolutely. The story.
I've got 5 stories right now. And I think I said a couple weeks ago, check out Tiffany Marie because her coverage is great. All right. And when people say, why do you mention other YouTubers? Why do you mention other Facebook groups? Because we're all in this together. Okay. A child is missing.
We all watch each other's. We want the latest information just like everyone else does.
Yeah. I'm not petty. All right. I'm not petty. She said she just came at the moment. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll catch her some other time. So back to what I was saying. I'm going through
Whoa.
What?
We have someone in chat here. She's in a better place now. Just hope she didn't suffer too much. Black Lives Matter. Do you want to explain? Or can you elaborate on that?
Anybody that wants to grab the link, Black Lives Matter. I mean, who just come up. I mean, be glad to chat with you. Personally, I don't see how she could be alive right now. And I'm not trying to be grim. I'm certainly not trying to be gross or cause her parents pain. But there's something, going by what the TBI said, usually in a couple of days, they know what's going on. They don't know. And then you have TBI saying, yeah, Black Lives Matter. You can grab the link and come up. Yep, exactly. Tiffany Marie. Everyone is he's right. He is right. Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said everyone is a suspect.
Okay. So I guess the consensus is that most think that she's no longer with us. Do you feel, let's just take a poll here. Do you feel it was because of something her parents did, or was she abducted? Was it because of her parents, or was she abducted? Law enforcement, what they've said, they are just as stumped. I mean, they don't even have a clear story as to what's going on. And that's pretty much what they've said.
Francine says abducted.
Even
says abducted.
Parents, yeah. Parents.
I don't believe Don has anything to do with it, though, because he was at work.
Maybe. How do you beat the cops there? Whitney says she lives in the community. I'm sorry, this isn't a big city that has, like Dallas, it has 20 shootings a day.
Right? So Danielle thinks she's been abducted. Okay, Donna says she believes it's accidental. And that is one thing. But now I go back to Casey Anthony, who says what happened to Kaylee was accidental. Why on earth would you just not call the police and just be done with it? Fufu says the boys were the last to see her. And that would be true, according to Candace.
Housing with her.
To the porch. Remember, Kat? Walked her to the porch. And she went inside while the brothers were watching TV.
Well, I found, okay, Rebecca.
And that's true. That's true, SK Bugged. True. Natalie Holloway, she was in Aruba. Jan or Warren, whatever his name is. He killed her. And I kind of think him and his dad put her in that swimming pool.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think she's there somewhere. And no, her mother will not stop. But she's not going to get the results because the people in Aruba are not going to cooperate.
Let's go one up on the chat. Go to the one right above that with Rebecca. Thought Dawn was at work too. I found out last night their paths may have crossed. Candace coming home from the lake and Dawn coming home from work. Well, now, if Candace left the lake and was on her or in the grocery store and was headed home at 3:09 when the video with her arm up was posted, Dawn was still at work at 6:30. So I'm not seeing that. I know there was a video out last night of how their paths may have crossed, and I didn't look at that one. I haven't looked at that one yet.
Well, now, what does it tell all of you guys that, exactly, Rebecca, how do we do that for sure? What does it tell you guys that the TBI has stopped doing press conferences? They're done with it.
They're at a dead end because I feel that the parent, they can't get a straight story. How can you move forward if you can't get a straight story? Oh, baby. I mean, can you just imagine law enforcement's frustration? But it was set until we found a body for us to get evidence off of. So right now, everything is circumstantial. You can't convict someone because they lied about.
Look at Joe Clyde Daniels. There's no body. His father has been convicted. His mother's going to trial. All for her putting him in endangerment, and his father beating him to death, and they have no body. You actually you can do it.
Well, yeah, yes. But with this, so far the only thing they have is Candace is lying about the situation.
Well, there's
Clyde. They had a little bit more, I believe. I don't know. I didn't follow that one that close.
But you have to admit, there's a time gap between Walgreens when they were getting the medicine for grandma, when they went swimming and there was trash everywhere, according to Candace. And yet someone found a black trash bag full of, not full of, but, had alcohol cans in there. Twisted tea, all those things. And then from there to when she called Dawn to when she called the police, there's a timeline there that's unaccounted for. She talks about Walgreens. She talks about Warrior Park. She talks about planting flowers. She talks about walking Summer to the porch. What happened in between?
She never says, bring my child home. You don't plead for help when you already know your child's gone. You don't plead when you already know what happened.
Thank you.
There's nothing to plead for. They know what happened. They know where she is. So why do we need to get out here and beg? We just need to protect our image. So you think I didn't do it? Does anyone else get a creepy feeling out of this Dotson guy? David Dotson, is that his name? With the church?
Oh, their friend?
Yes.
Did you get a weird feeling that no one showed up to the prayer circle except for Candace, I guess her mom, and two of the boys?
Yeah, where was the other boy?
Where was the community?
Because nobody buys into this. Nobody's buying the bullshit story anymore. There is no support. And this GoFundMe is the biggest farce. They need the money from the GoFundMe to go get flyers. But yet Candace had the money to drive clear to BFE to pick up Hunter that day to go swimming and take him back home. But they don't have money to print flyers. They have money.
In her interview, she said because Hunter said his grandma's a bitch. Well, why would you care when you have 4 children of your own?
That you don't even have with you. 3 of them are at home by themselves. That you're not supervising.
And at this point, what are flyers going to do? Because they have billboards. They got billboards out to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yep.
So people know, to look around. So did you hear anything about the girl that was missing in Kansas? They found, I think, the same day.
Yes. They found the same day, but she was from Missouri.
Okay.
Or no, she was missing or maybe it was Oklahoma and they found her in Kansas. She was from Kansas. I don't know, somewhere right here near us. She was from the next state over from where she was missing.
Right. So I don't really know. People were saying, well, the TBI in Kansas City, they were communicating. I don't think I believe that.
I don't either, because what are the chances, realistically, that Summer was in the same gray shorts and pink shirt that she went missing in? Come on, people. It's been 3 weeks. If someone did abduct her, those clothes were trashed and burned. And she's probably wearing a wig. This is not. I think people are really grasping at straws, and that's what's leading to so many tips. And they're just Facebook chatter.
And
all this is speculation. We don't know either.
850 tips. Okay. So we're still looking for the truck, the maroon truck. That's either a 1998 to a 2000 with the ladders on it. And they want to question someone just to see what they saw. So we have that. I mean, that's one thing. I'm very confused by Candace and what she says. On some points, she's very exact.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes. Like she says the swim at Warrior Park was 20 minutes. Okay, so how do you know? And then she says, well, when you're having fun, you lose track of time. Then how do you know?
I had a really good point and it just slipped my mind. So continue on. I'm going to think about what was on my mind just a second ago. I started reading chat and then I lost it. Yeah, no one showed up to the vigil, like you said. That's just really unheard of. The flyers are, pointless at this point. Was something Don had on his post that I wanted to, or maybe Candace posted. I'm looking at my notes.
Love Keen, I agree. We're seeing so many pictures of Summer that are not recent. When they put those up and it's her at Christmas and she's got, longer hair like that little bob. But now she's got shaved head. Why would you not give someone the most current picture?
I think they've just tried to throw the whole investigation off. They really have. I feel like they have. Oh yeah, Candace is the high as can be. Remember the picture of Candace as a very small child with not even a pair of underwear on at a construction site?
Oh, of Summer?
Yes.
Straddling the boards? Yeah.
Yes.
And that was gross. I
Yeah,
don't know why you would let your little girl outside like that.
especially around brothers.
Around brothers. I mean, I've got a million reasons. And when you see her out there on a 2x4 straddling it, I would have a problem with that. I would have grabbed her and said, come inside and put some clothes on, and then you can play. Not take pictures and post them on social media.
Yes.
Why do people do that?
I'm surprised it didn't get dinged on social media.
I mean, basically anything I say, I get something. But I mean, come on. We had 43 group qualities in the Cash Earning group. From everything from someone calling Darian trash, which he is, to calling Monica trash, which she is. Yet you can post these personal pictures and that's okay.
I just don't, I mean, I know they're country bumpkins and, have a mouthful of tobacco in the side of their mouth and can't talk. But you're going on TV and you're worried about what people think because you're only giving us this lie and attracting to the Facebook rhetoric is what you're doing. You're only addressing the Facebook things. That's why you say 2 minutes, and that's why you talk about the candy and all this kind of stuff. But why didn't you even put your shirt on the correct way for that? Her shirt was inside out.
Right.
And you think they don't dress Summer. They don't do any of the things that a normal family should do. That's not important to them, how their kids look, if they're bathed or anything like that. But I mean, don't you have some kind of just enough common decency to make sure your shirt's on the right way? I have seen Candace in so many videos with that same shirt on in so many pictures. I don't understand why this family has no clothes. They're getting tons of help from the church. They have been throughout all this.
Yeah, nothing makes sense, especially the fact that no one has the same story.
Well,
I get Don not having the same story because he was supposedly at work. So I'm going to take his word on that, okay?
well, then he should drill his wife and get the damn answers. Because I'm going to tell you what, if my son come up missing, I was the last one home, my husband would have sat and interrogated me like no one law enforcement would ever. Not because he doesn't trust me, because of the simple fact he wants to know everything to try to find a clue, to try to find our child. Don doesn't have answers that are simple little answers. Now, Candace said in her interview that Hunter was not with them when they went to the grocery store. Yet Allison says H was with them. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, she states H was with him when they went to the grocery store, and that him and Summer stayed in the car and played on TikTok. Why would you lie about that, Candace? Maybe you lied to your husband. Maybe Dawn does think there's something up with her and H. And so she wants to admit that fact so Dawn doesn't think anything. But you're lying to the public and you're lying to the police when you say that he was not with you. Why? Why would you? Why? Obviously, she has so many more issues than God. We can't even address them. But when you just flat out lie and just like when she failed the lie detector test, the polygraph, or couldn't take it or whatever, she called H. Why would you call a 15-year-old to tell him, I failed? What did you tell them? So I know what to tell them. Why would you do that? That right there shows that her and H know something happened. If not, you wouldn't have, there would be no reason for you to contact him. There would be no, let's get our story straight. Unless y'all were in cahoots. It's pretty sad when you have to ask a 15-year-old, what do I tell the cops about that day? That just floors me. Yeah, I do believe everyone involved is lying. And then we get this damn, speaking of H and that group, we get this guy from some organization coming up here to rescue H. In this professional organization. Yeah, they have paperwork. Unfortunately, that there's been a court order since. I mean, that place did not do their homework. I think they injected themselves for the publicity. Normally, you would follow through, and I don't understand. If H's dad wanted him, then he should have figured out a way to come get him himself. And the stories of that will be, well, dad was at home with other kids or whatever. No, it's your child. If your child's in danger, you go get him. Because the way this family goes, your child can come up missing at any time. There's already 2 missing. Your son is in the middle of this, and you don't think he can't come up missing?
Well, why is the kid who's 15, why is his cover photo of him and Candace?
Good question. And if her and his mom are no longer friends, look, if you're not my friend, you're not talking to my child. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's right here. That's him and Candace. He even said that he's in a relationship and she was, making jokes at him. And this is public, guys. I didn't just dig this up. This is public. So why at 15 years old is she saying things to him like when he says, I'm in a relationship, and he's got a picture of the 2 of them, and she's like, oh, with your hand and things like that. How does that make any sense?
What about her laying in the bed with him and rubbing his head?
Yeah, that's sick.
I'm sorry. I'd like to take that hat that she has on and shove it somewhere, but I'd also like to knock it on her straight. I don't know. This just irks me. She wants to be gangster, mommy. Oh, I'm cool. I'm bad. Got to listen to my rap. Got to be the cool one. No.
No, it's very odd to me.
She thinks she's a kid, and every thing with something between its legs wants her. I don't get it. Don't get me off on that subject.
And as a mother, if my son, for some reason, decided to make his public picture, I don't like social media anyway, but if they decide to make their picture a picture of them and this woman, I would intervene big time. I mean, who pays for the phone?
Exactly. Well, supposedly, Dad bought the phone, according to this organization, and then they took it from him. So since the cops have it, the cops should buy H another phone. Oh my God, that's the biggest mess I've ever seen in my life. And if those are professional people helping getting a child out of a situation, they deal with endangered kids, runaways, homeless kids, stuff like that. Them injecting themselves in this situation, there was no place for them in it. I feel like those knuckleheads were both very intoxicated when they were here. And when they did their lives, they were very intoxicated also. Too many people are coming out just for their 5 minutes of fame. How do we know, Dean? How do we know for a fact who's lying? Can you scroll back up to 2 comments to Dean? Look, I'm sure by now they've got H a new phone. H has a job. Maybe he bought his own phone. I mean, you can go to Walmart and get them for $30. I have 3 of our old phones laying around my house. I'm sure that he was able to get, another phone. Yep. His dad has 8 other children with no money, apparently. Exactly. And I don't think he has any of those kids. And he doesn't pay child support. And just because you have an old court order and you forfeited your rights by not following through, and it clearly stated in the court order that if you violated, your rights were going to be terminated. Yeah. And yes, Dawn's so jealous. Exactly, Rebecca. And controlling of Candace, yes. Dawn was very jealous and controlling. So I feel Dawn would have had some issues with this, with Candace and H. I feel that's why they're lying about, Candace is lying about that. But when your child's missing, that's minute. I don't care if my husband thought I slept around or what I did. If my child's missing, that's the only thing on my mind. I would tell the truth. They were not drunk. They weren't. Okay. Exactly, Dean. Yep, just to make money.
But $1,255 is nothing.
Oh, I know.
I mean, their GoFundMe is sad. I mean, I'm looking around and I'm like, they've got to have something else.
Red, I do know what they do. I do. I've looked at their website, I've researched them and everything else. I'm not saying they don't do good things. I'm saying they had no business in this situation. They didn't do their homework. That's why the cops would not allow them to take Hunter. Yes, I'm aware of what they do. They were called, given paperwork, but it wasn't the current paperwork. That's why they did not leave with them.
Well, they can't. They can't anyway. And I mean, what I have discovered about them is they do good work. They do great work.
But this wasn't their type of work. This case, the situation with Paige.
And especially who they friended. They aligned with someone who,
not in the picture, doesn't pay child support, hasn't seen him, didn't get him for Christmas vacation like he was supposed to.
No, they decided to be friends with an admin of another group who they don't even understand, makes up stories that they bought. They don't know how that works.
I think I'm on the same page as to who that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yes, they were given paperwork, but you need to research. Anybody gives me a piece of paper, just like before I come on today, I sat and made all my notes, had all my pertinent information ready and available. With an organization like this, they have to make sure if they get a court order and paperwork that it is current.
Why didn't Hunter's dad just come down and get him, period? If he's got visitation, if he's got rights, just come get your kid.
I'm not talking about Brandy. That's not the group I'm talking about. I'm talking about the other one. JD is who I'm talking about. But H wasn't in an abusive relationship, an abuse situation. But I'm not talking about those, Brandy. I was talking about the other one. Exactly. Elena, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, H's mom said he didn't have the money to come get him. Okay, well,
Then if you don't have money, okay, come hell or high water, if my child is somewhere, I'm going to get them. I called you freaking out one night, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
About my daughter?
Yes, you did.
And it turned out that it was completely wrong and crazy. And I mean, she's 27 years old. But my ass would have got there.
And I told you I would help.
I mean, when there's an emergency situation like that, you figure out a way. I don't have family. I don't have anyone to turn to. But if there's an emergency situation involving my kids, you better believe I'm going to do what I have to do to be there. Not call some stranger to go pick up my child. Obviously, H is under some stress. He has to be. He is a 15-year-old. He has no business in this.
Not to talk over you, but my question is, why has his mother not turned off his social media?
Look, like I said, these are all a bunch of, it's just their society, the way they live. That's, I don't know. I don't know what, maybe they're, I don't know how to put it to be politically correct.
But the internet is the Wild West, okay? You don't know who your kids are talking to, communicating with, they're getting messages from. You don't know. So when something is this magnitude and you're involved in it, and you've got strangers messaging them, and you're corresponding with them, isn't it time to say, hey, buddy, don't need the phone?
But she can't stay off herself. She's just like Candace, where it's nonstop social media or TikTok. Some of these people get so obsessed with it, they can't set it down. What, baby? I don't know. I'll be downstairs. Okay, in a few minutes. I'm reading comments. Exactly. He didn't have the money.
And like Lydia said,
oh, he can't. Whoa. He can't leave New York because he has warrants.
I've got to look that up. And I think he's from Gloversville, New York.
I believe so, yes.
Okay, I'll have my brother-in-law look at that.
Yeah, so we're going to take a child out of a home that he's been in for 10 years with his mother to a man that he hasn't seen in at least a year, who can't afford to come get him, that has warrants, to take a 15-year-old away from all of his friends and a girlfriend and his job to go be with a dad that doesn't pay child support, who doesn't come visit his kids, to be on the run with a man that has warrants. That's a great place. That's the exact same scenario, pretty much, as to the shit show of Candace and Dawn. Granted, they don't have warrants.
I'm really confused how the dad has so many warrants in New York, since they have, basically, they forgive any crime in New York.
Maybe his warrants aren't in New York. Maybe they're in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Because, I mean, in New York, I mean, they passed that law. I mean, you have no bond. I mean, it's a very,
you just get out of
very forgiving state.
No. He didn't pay to have them. This company does this for free. They run off donations or their own money. No, Dean, I don't believe that the dad had to pay to have H extracted. Can we talk about how inappropriate her statements about H's sister are? Whitney, enlighten me. Whose comments?
Yeah, Whitney, who are you talking about? Oh, good point, Tammy. That's what I've been asking. Hunter is 15 years old. Why is Allison not pressing charges against Candace for giving him alcohol?
Candace says, okay, let's go back to Candace's story on that. Candace says she didn't give H the alcohol. She wasn't the one. But as Candace says, only her mom, H, and Summer were there. So if it didn't come from from Candace, it had to come from Candace's mom. Now, if we believe that story.
Well, I don't know.
I just don't feel like grandma. Didn't somebody show a picture where you have to walk down to where they were swimming at, wasn't that terrain a little rough? And Grandma had just left the hospital with a knee injury or something with
Right.
her knee. So
Yep.
I don't feel like Grandma was really there. I think this is one of Candace's stories, so Dawn doesn't get mad that she was swimming with H. Didn't Summer have a swimming suit on that day that they were at swimming?
It looked like a t-shirt and underwear to me.
Okay. So we normally just leave our house, right? And do an impromptu let's go swimming while we're waiting for Grandma's meds.
I found that weird myself because when Candace said it was gonna be 20 minutes to get the medication, to get the pills, whatever, the prescription, whatever she called it. So we went to swim. Now, I don't know about you, but I would just go inside the store or sit in my car and wait for the medication, not say, let's just go and swim.
Right. Because that would mean you would have extra clothes in the car to put on Summer.
Yeah.
In the middle of the summertime, you would put her in a jacket, hoodie, whatever you want to call that thing she was in, and long pants. I just don't get that. If it's hot enough to swim, you're not wearing a jacket and blue jeans.
Or if you look at it this way, I mean, the fact is the girl had her head shaved. And I don't care what they say about how she's a tomboy. She wanted her hair shaved. She wanted this. She wanted to be like mom. But then dad's like, oh, but she liked professional people and like long hair.
Yes.
So what is it?
Exactly. 1 minute she's a princess, and then she's a tomboy, and then she's daddy's babies, and she's mommy's baby, and nothing lines up with these people. Nothing. I don't think nothing they've said matches anywhere close. They're like polar opposites of what the other says.
My thing is the 5 different stories. Candace, okay, the day after Summer went missing, she was arguing with people in news articles, in the comments on Facebook. And the stories continued. We have 5 now. And I will not stop it. I will not stop saying this. When your child goes missing, you know exactly where you were, what you were wearing, your child was wearing. You know the day, the time, everything. You know it all.
Oh, absolutely.
So please quit saying all of these different stories. I mean, she walked outside with bare feet and gray pants and a pink shirt. Mom went on a run. Then we hear about the planting flowers. Then we hear that she was in the kitchen cooking. We heard that one time. And she turned around and Summer was gone. Exactly, Maddie. You know exactly what happened when you can't find your child.
Hey, Brandy, can you pull those for us? Can we just see if they are there?
What's that?
Brandy said she can search up his warrants very easily.
Yeah.
She probably already has them ready for us. Hi, Steph.
Yeah, Fufu, she said she was on a run. I ask all the time, on a run to the bank, on a run to get some food,
on a run, a dope run.
Yeah, I don't even know. Because
but then Candace says, I don't run anywhere. I don't walk anywhere. And then
the wildlife. But she said she was on a run. She was taking a run. Her words.
Guys, we got 98 people in chat and 56 thumbs up. Please give us a thumbs up.
And subscribe to the page, please.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel.
The haircut, yes. Yes, Dean, we need to hear the 911 call. I don't know why it hasn't been out yet. I think that's kind of odd that we don't have that information yet. It should be made public by now. Yeah, Candace said that she doesn't run or walk anywhere. Now let's look at that statement. Candace is scared to be outside because of the snakes and the bears and the wolves and the foxes and everything else.
Oh, everything. Bobcats. I mean, you name it. She won't even do anything out there.
Right, but she's out planning. Right?
Well, and that's fine. I mean, it was basically some planters in her driveway. Dawn said,
outside.
And Dawn said Summer would never leave that hill because she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't do it.
Right.
In one of the news articles, someone asked Candace, did she go to the park? And she said, no, she would never go there. But then later she says she went swimming at Warrior Park. Okay. Kids don't wander off, guys. They just don't. They just
you're watching them unless you're more entertained with what's going on. But
at 5 years old, a child does not just wander off. They don't do it. So either someone hurt her or she was actually abducted. And I'm leaning more towards something happened at home.
Agreed. If Candace is so scared of snakes and all these critters and bears and frogs and ladybugs and all this kind of stuff, why does she go to Warrior Path? That's creepy and snaky. Water moccasins are real.
Absolutely they are. Absolutely are.
All these videos of the kids and they're outside, and obviously she's videoing them, but she's scared to go outside. I don't know any 5-year-old that's going to sit in the house and not go outside. They portrayed it like they watch her every minute and she'd never be away from her side. And we know that's not true. Kids want their space. They want some independence, depending on what age level that is. My 16-month-old grandson doesn't want to sit in the high chair anymore. He wants to sit at a little table and eat his food there because they like independence. They get older and they want things. You cannot tell me that child has never been in the yard by herself without being supervised, as Candace would like for us to think.
And
every time she calls for
if that's the case, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's when you lie about it. It's when you try to make something out that it really isn't.
I mean, we all go into the house while our kids are playing.
Absolutely.
We're browning meat. We're getting dinner ready, whatever. You can hear them outside. But this 2-minute story, how she walked inside, and that's the final story, okay? That's the final one. She walked in. Candace walked her to the porch. She walked in. Her brothers were watching TV. And then she went to the playroom in the basement, and she was gone. So I want to know, what did the brothers hear?
Or they were very rough with her, is what we were told.
Yeah, and by now, someone had to have talked to them.
Absolutely.
What
the little boy in the first interview just held his head down the whole time. And why would you bring your child as your emotional support to go on camera with? The mental abuse these kids are suffering, I feel, is just ungodly. Dean, you're absolutely right. I said that earlier. What if it is a sympathizer, someone like the Sunday school teacher? Absolutely, 100%. I do feel like if she was taken, that it was probably from a sympathizer, somebody that wanted to give her a better life, someone that wanted to, and made that rash decision. And now they're like, oh my God, how do I bring her home? What do I do? I don't think they've harmed her in any way. If it was someone like that, I think they did it trying to do what was best for the child. But Dawn talks about resurrection. And I don't know, some churches, not saying all, not accusing the church he goes to in any way, sometimes they get a cultish like following. Resurrection would kind of make me think of sacrifice. He talks about 3 days. Remember, Easter just passed. Let's think of what 3 days means in a religious sense.
Good Friday to Easter.
Yes. And on the 3rd day, God did what? He come out of the tomb. Okay, so, when we think of 3 days, to me, if we're talking religious, then, and then we talk resurrection, I don't know. And he feels like he needs to pay for his sins so his child, whatever, I don't know. Why doesn't he say, just God look at the good that we do as parents so our kids are okay or they go to heaven? Why doesn't he say, I'm trying to do good so that God will send my daughter back home?
Well, think about this. If you thought your child was abducted from your home, would you not put a security system on?
Why would you think? Who wakes up and thinks my child's going to be abducted today?
Well, nobody would. But if you believe that you have one child that was, and you've got 3 minor children in the house.
Oh, absolutely. And my child.
Would you not have cameras? Would you not have everything around there to make sure you know what's going on? Especially the fact, it looks to me that Dawn does not believe Candace.
I don't think he does either. I can't see how he could. But I don't think he's questioned her either. I don't think, like my husband, bless his soul, he would have put a chair in the middle of the living room and I would have sat in that chair. He would have never harmed me in any way. But he would have given me the whole military interrogation. No. He would know every little detail that happened. And every little question he had, anything to try to extract something that I didn't remember. Exactly, Robin. Summer just wanted someone to love her. I do believe that. I do believe that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Whitney's elaborating. Candace talks about her beef with the 15-year-old girl because she wouldn't lie for the girl about having sex with it. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's with H's sister. Yes, I did hear that. Black Lives Matter. You say things so matter-of-factly. I don't know. Your comments just really stick out to me like you know more.
I think so too.
I don't, they don't have a profile picture. They don't have anything. Is that you, Candace? Is that you, Candace, or Dawn, or Grandma?
Yeah, grab the link and come up.
Whitney, because these people ain't got no coos about them. They have no, I don't know. I don't even know how. I mean, yeah, she's talking about a 15-year-old having sex on the news, but at the same time, she doesn't even turn her shirt in the right side way. She has just no morals or no self-esteem, nothing.
Well, Dean, I hope so. I hope they've been interviewed by a forensics specialist. I hope so. And then they can match up stories with what Candace is saying. I hope the 3 boys have been talked to and they can say, yeah, we were sitting in the living room and my mom did walk her to the porch. She did walk downstairs or to the basement, the playroom, whatever. And then after that, she was gone. I really hope everything matches up.
Well, aren't you a little bit snarky there? I'm just reading chat. I don't know. Something really just doesn't sit well with me with that one.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. We have a show tomorrow, Justice for Corey. And then we'll be back on Friday to talk more about summer. You're right, Kelly.
Absolutely. And Steph, I don't get it either. It's been 3 weeks. They've got enough. I mean, agreed on.
No, Black Lives Matter. I mean, a lot of stuff doesn't sit right. A lot of stuff.
I think they're referring more to what I was saying about their comments.
Oh, okay.
I see that everything is so matter of factly, and it's not raised as a question or speculation. It is.
Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to put the announcement up for the live tomorrow, and then we have another live on Monday and Tuesday. So we have a lot of lives coming up. No, we weren't talking about you, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. No, we weren't talking about you. So I'm going to wind this down. I hope everyone has a great afternoon. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and like the page. Kat, thank you. We've worked together for a long, long time.
All right, guys. Everybody think about it. When we reconvene, we'll go into new information. And hopefully Brandy has those background checks for us.
Oh, she will. All right. Love you guys. You have a great afternoon, and we will see you tomorrow night.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.